Almost.
Not by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so to all those who lost their lives, family, anybody impacted by Pearl Harbor, we thank you for defending our country, and those that we lost that day, we keep in our minds and prayers and the families thereof.
Hey, there we are.
There you go.
Okay, now I'm in the center of something.
It's a good thing. You know what? Usually we have guests that kind of make our picture a little difficult because they need room. It's a good thing Johnny's a little smaller.
He's a lot smaller than you and I. Yeah, I know.
We'll have a position. Maybe we'll have a positioning. Will really look good today, actually. So, in other words, we'll be in frame, which is good.
How are you going to blindside me? What's going on?
Okay.
I want to see this.
Did you feel the earthquake yesterday?
Didn't feel a thing.
2.2 on the magnitude scale struck.
What time?
Southern Highlands at about 3:47 in the afternoon.
Where the hell was I?
Now, it was only a 2.2, and those in California know, I guess, a 2.2 really isn't a lot.
Johnny, did you feel anything? No.
No comment. No comment.
All right, I'm not going to say anything there.
So we had a little earthquake, according to the Nevada Seismological Laboratory at
where are they located?
University of Nevada up in Reno. So
they're up in Reno's monitoring me here in Las Vegas.
I guess so.
Oh.
All right. I saw this. I saw this on Facebook come up yesterday, and you know, at the school that I spend time at,
yep,
I teach math. I tutor kids in math. So, you know, you always look for innovative ways to teach skill set and ideology. Well, technique. So I found an article where a teacher uses Legos, those wonderful Legos that we all step on in the middle of the night and hurt ourselves.
In math?
In math.
So what do they do? Step on something? Now that's 2 instead of 1?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to hold up because this is just one of the pictures as to its applications, but you could see how they define fractions using the Legos, because there's different size pieces and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm not blindsided yet, but go ahead.
But this thing I reshared, people are reshared. It's already got like 100 reshares.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one is like 1 inch, one's a half an inch, one's a quarter. So they're talking about sizes.
Yeah. Well, you know, size matters in these things.
Well, guys lie about sizes, so why couldn't you use this? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it is what it is.
A quarter plus 3/4 equals 4/4 or equals 1.
Right.
That's pretty cool how they did this.
And then somebody said on the post, he says, if you don't want to do Legos, how about a Hershey bar? You know how they had break a Hershey bar?
Break a Hershey bar, yeah. But
I was like, well, that could be detrimental to someone with diabetes, I would think.
Well, it'd be detrimental to me because I'd be eating the equations, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So, So, I mean, that article, that little teeny-weeny article has
pretty cool.
Drawn a lot of interest off my page, and I thank you all for
Are you going to use it in class?
I'm actually going to try to. I'm actually going to try to use it with my first and second graders.
Do you have Legos at home? Or?
Somewhere I think I have my old set buried. If not, honey, Christmas time, Hanukkah time.
In that room you have with all your memorabilia, you're going to find them.
Listen, what can I tell you? Yeah. What can I tell you? All right. On another note, and I should have really opened with this as well, and this is all I'm going to say about this. Yesterday, there was a deadly shooting down at Pensacola Naval Base. Yep. 4 people lost their lives, and I think including the gunman who was a alleged Saudi national.
He shot himself.
Right. So he took himself out with those who lost their lives. So we just want to send condolences to those affected. But this is the second naval base issue this past week.
Well, did you see or read, because I read this very recently, that there were 6 other Saudis that were filming this going on, and now they're reevaluating because there are thousands of foreigners that are brought into this country, which the U.S. military trains.
Jeez.
And, you know, when was the last time that was changed? The same time they changed the gun law with the muskets?
Yeah.
I mean, really?
I guess.
It's time to look at this seriously.
Yeah, there's a problem. And when it happens on a naval base or military base, it's just, and like I said, it's the second military base that was affected this past week.
That's why they're re-looking at the process and the strategic way that they bring these people in to learn from the best in the world.
I hope they do something different. Download the Go Live app, golive.vegas. You can go to your app store.
Oh, I didn't share yet. Did you share yet, Johnny? Did you?
He's waiting for your signal because I couldn't tag him.
I'm sorry. Let me see what I got here. You tagged me. All right.
So download the Go Live app on your Android, iPhones, and take us on the go. We're there. And then this show or a show will be replayed on Wednesday at 6 p.m. of Twin Brothers as well. And of course, catch us on all of our podcast sites, everything from Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn, you name it. And of course, up on YouTube and on GoLive.Vegas. Anyway, okay, next topic.
Okay, go.
Las Vegas Valley continues to experience a surge in population and housing growth. New numbers released showcase that by 2020 may be especially hard in the valley for sellers, which means it's going from a seller's market basically to a buyer's market. The sale of existing homes nationally is expected to drop almost 2% in compared to this year. So next year, they're expecting a drop in new home sales across the country.
The problem is still the mortgage rates. Are they loosening them? Has the Fed lowered the interest rate now? A lot of people, even though prices for the housing has come down, do they qualify for a mortgage?
Great question. I don't know. I don't even know what the interest rates are nowadays because I don't have a home. I rent. So I really have not stayed in tune with that. But I got to imagine that they're at a pace, if it's becoming a buyer's market instead of a seller's market, there has to be some adjustment. Just looking at Johnny, he's loving that. I'm assuming there has to be some adjustment coming soon, as there always is. Yeah. When was the last time the Fed made an adjustment?
Recently, they did it. No, they did it a while ago. They came down a 0.25 percentage point. And now, again, the stock market goes crazy when the president mentions something and the Fed all of a sudden lowers the interest rates. The monetary aspect of that situation changes dramatically for people that didn't qualify before, but now they can get a lower interest rate. And, you've got the first-time homeowners thing. You've got, they charge a little bit more in the interest rate, and you've got to stay in your house for X amount of years. And listen, they have equations. They're bean counters. That's how they make their money.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Diane Fiorentino, thank you for watching. She chimed in that the current mortgage rate is 3.75, which is low by standards, isn't it?
It's lower than what I got.
We have many people out there watching. Appreciate it. Even my dad is watching right now. My dad, Larry, he's out there. He says,
"Hi, Larry."
Yeah, my dad. He must be really bored if he's got us on his phone or his computer looking at us.
Hey, do you have how come I don't have people coming through?
I don't know, because this is the regular chat room. Did you do a?
No, I didn't do a live. I didn't do a watch party. I just did a.
Maybe you need to go out of it and come back into it off your phone.
Share.
There you go. Okay, next topic.
Share with friends.
Next topic. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Another residency announced. Can you really call a residency when when you're only in for 5 days? Is it really a residency?
No.
Earth, Wind, and Fire has part of their spring Vegas residency to play May 6th, 8th, 9th, 15th, and 16th at the Pearl. They're the only show scheduled so far. And so, why is 6 shows a residency? I would think a little longer tenure would have to be a residency, isn't it?
Residency, they're coming and they're doing 6 shows. They have a residency for 6 shows. They have a residency like Celine Dion for X amount of years. Donnie Marie had a residency. Anybody who comes to Vegas that's got more than one show, I guess they get a residency.
I guess. Does that mean we have a residency at Portnoy?
Yeah, we have a residency. Twin brothers, different mothers.
Dorothy's out there saying hello. Our friend Scott up in Alaska. Scott, what's the temperature and weather up there in Alaska right now? Love to know and share that. Next topic, real quickly, before we bring up Johnny. Raiders this past week, they named a partnership for their new training facility out in Henderson. 250 new jobs are anticipated. So they awarded the facility the following name, the Intermountain Healthcare Performance Center.
Where's that? At their practice facility?
That's the practice facility in Henderson. Is
also
now
naming rights.
Naming rights, which is something we always talk about, right?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
On Tuesday, or they announced this past week that they will be the official healthcare partners as well. So that's why I guess they named
they're getting involved. Yeah.
Local government is expecting 250 permanent jobs to be created to run the Silver and Black football's team operations. So at least that's another good thing.
Have you seen the film, the pictures of what that facility is going to look like?
Just
gorgeous.
Just the renderings.
Practice fields and workout rooms and didn't they just recently also get the M as the official hotel of the Raiders?
Yep. So that is very true. They have that. Oh, Scott from Alaska says yesterday the temperature was negative 25 degrees, and today it's going to have a high of 0.
Oy.
So it's getting warmer.
See where New England got 2 feet of snow?
No, I did not see what their totals were.
2 feet of snow.
Man.
Early.
Speedy recovered in my sister, Sandy, who had her other knee operated on this past week, and she avoided all that weather. That's why it got heavy up there as it detoured central Jersey. That's why I think Boston area
got murdered.
Yeah. 2 feet.
Central New England. Yeah, up in New Hampshire, Maine.
Last but not least, this is very critical. I'm very saddened by this. America braces for a possible please, everybody, just sit down, take a Valium if this is going to be of concern. A possible French fry shortage after poor potato harvest. No more. There's a potential that we will not be able to have French fries anymore.
Idaho isn't making potatoes anymore?
Potato processors are rushing to buy supplies and ship them across North America in order to keep French fries on the menu after cold, wet weather damaged crops and key producers in both the United States and Canada. Canada.
I'd like to buy a vowel.
Yeah, exactly. Cool conditions started to hit growing regions in October. In Alberta and Idaho, though, were able to dig up some damaged crops for storage, but growers in Manitoba, North Dakota, and Minnesota received snow and rain, forcing them to abandon some supplies in the fields.
Where do you find this information?
Hey, listen, I spare every expense to get the best stories for Twin Brothers.
That's a great story.
Hey, listen, I appreciate that. And I got a lot of events coming up. We got entertainment. A good friend of mine is coming back into town, Brian Hoffman, who does the best Red Skelton. I'll share that in a little bit in the show. But more importantly, now it's time. Let us bring up our next guest, our featured guest for the day. By the way, we started a few minutes late today. So as we look at our watches say it's 20 after, but in our minds, it's really quarter after.
Yeah, okay.
Because we started a few minutes late. So, sure. Okay, so coming up now is a gentleman. He's a singer, writer, producer, actor. He's a founder of the Phoenix Studios since 1995, as we talked about. He's known for many voices. Without further ado, let us bring up currently our guest, Mr. Johnny Bird. Woo! I wish I had a soundtrack or a clap track, an applause clap. How are you, sir? Come on in.
I don't have to tell you, put the microphone right
exactly.
up to me. You know how that works.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
It's nice that we don't have to tell somebody how to handle a microphone.
Well, it's nice to have somebody with hair up in between the two of us.
And you see how neatly he fits between us? Doesn't even jimmy us up in the.
That's great.
Just like a little guy.
That's well, welcome to the show, man. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
I know in the morning for entertainers are usually tough to get up and get up this early.
I was actually up at, I think, about 5:30 this morning.
Were you really?
Well, the kids have what, dance things or something going on today? Or?
Yeah, this was my oldest daughter's first cheerleading thing. She goes to Slam Academy, and this was her first away game.
Right on.
So
and Daddy's not there because I called you up and said, we got to get you here.
They did 3 games. We caught all 3 games. They dropped me off here, and now they're back home.
Excellent.
So how old's your daughter?
She is 13.
Nice. Do you have any other kids?
I do. We got one of each. We got 3 of them. We got an older
one
daughter.
of each. Wait.
I have a degree in math, and I'm trying to figure that out. I have one of each, so all 3. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, my oldest daughter, shout out to Haley. Haley did great today. Slam won all 3 of their games.
Right on.
My middle is my boy, my only boy, Hayden, and the littlest one is Starling.
Nice. Very cool. Well, congratulations. Sounds like a great family. That's cool.
You.
So what does it feel like to be a dad when that first one came out? You know, boom, here go, Dad. Changes like that.
I actually caught it. The doctor had to push me out of the way.
Hip check out of the way. Very cool.
It feels great.
So let's talk about your inspiration. Let's talk a little bit about your background and how you kind of got into this crazy entertainment field doing what you're doing. What's your background?
I like to
keep in mind it's only an hour show, by the way. Just
okay. Well, I'm here.
Yeah, there you go.
I like to say I started out. I was working my way through law school back in Minnesota in St. Paul, and I got sidetracked. I was working an Arby's drive-through.
Wow!
And that was my first job with a microphone.
Right on.
You know,
that's cool.
And I could even recreate that the first scene. You know, good afternoon, welcome to Arby's.
That's very.
My name's Johnny. Would you like some cookies? Do you have any coupons? Well, there was a guy that came through from Minneapolis. Hamlin University is a little bit south of St. Paul, and he came through, and I was doing my little shtick at the drive-through window, and by the time he got up to the window, this was rush hour, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, so everybody was, everybody's getting out of their jobs,
right?
And he pulled up, and he had a business card in his hand, and a big smile on his face, and he said, "If you ever wanted a job using your voice, give me a call, because this is the first time I've ever been to a drive-through window and I understood every single word that was said. And you were funny." So he drops the card on the window, and then he drove off and he forgot his food.
Oh boy,
that's funny.
So the next day I went to his office in Minneapolis
and delivered the food.
Yeah, I went to the nearest Arby's. I kept his receipt and his card. I went to the nearest Arby's. I bought everything that he had ordered. And I showed up and I came up to his desk and I said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And he laughed. He said, "Yeah, I forgot my food and I got caught in traffic and I didn't want to turn back around." And I said, "Well, you also offered me a job." And he hired me on the spot. I did
Good for you.
show. I did a wedding that weekend, and it was It was just so awful. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. I had 400 cassette singles. So there was like 2 songs on each side.
Right.
And 4 double cassette players.
Wow.
And I had headphones on the whole time. I knew nothing about anything. I was so nervous at the microphone because my hand was sweating, slipped out of my hand, not once, but twice live.
Wow.
And I thought, I'm never going to do this again. But,
wow.
But that was 1987.
Wow.
Nice.
And about 5,000 plus shows now. We went over 5,000 last year.
Nice.
So, I mean, you come from Minnesota, Twin Cities area, but a small town, right?
I actually was born in Canada. I grew up in International Falls, Minnesota. You're talking about weather and 25
right.
below. That was every winter for us.
Right.
You know, we got 40, 50. We got so cold that the thermometer in Town Square froze at 40 below. It wouldn't go any colder than that. But yeah,
you formed Birdland Productions. Give us a little background on that. I mean, you got into the field.
I got into the field. Yep.
Realized you've got the voice. You could sing. I mean, every time I sing, I say the same 3 words.
Lucky you draw.
Thank God I draw. Yeah, exactly.
That's 4, by the way.
Yeah, I can't count. You're the math teacher.
Well, he threw me off with the 3. I have one of each, all 3 of them. That threw me off.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the Legos thing here
and,
and start measuring. How did you get in with where did this develop? Where did this come from? And how have you grown it? And now you're in Las Vegas.
I accidentally saw an invoice for one of the weddings that I did from the company that hired me. I was a hired hand. I was getting paid basically by the hour. And they gave me the invoice for the show. And I saw that they were making $1,500 and I was making $150.
Yep.
I thought the economics of this don't add up. I didn't need Legos or a math degree. And I started thinking to myself, you know, I can do this. I was taking business classes. I was a business major as I was working my way, you know, to be an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, I can do this. What part of this wouldn't I be able to get? So I decided to start investing in my own equipment.
Right.
And in 1994, I got my first gig as me, where I was able to book it myself. They had seen me at another show. So I started thinking, you know, I just got paid $500 as opposed to $150, and I know I can make more. So I told the folks that I was working with, you know, I'm gonna go in a little bit different direction. Instead of writing the checks to me, I went to the courthouse, got my business license, got my name in there, and just started doing it like that. And it grew, you know, it grew just by me being out there. Every show I did was an opportunity for another show. Just like
talk about the show though. I mean,
I was just a DJ, 2 turntables and a microphone.
So you weren't singing.
I wasn't singing.
Where'd the singing come from?
I'd always wanted to, and my first thing with singing was in my freshman year of high school. I got challenged by a buddy of mine in study hall. We were in chorus. Everybody was in chorus. It was an easy A.
Right. And
he said, you know, I'll bet you can't get into the swing choir. It was the elite choir. And I said, well, I'll take the bet. So I got a pass right on the spot. I went down to the other end of the school and I sidelined our music director. I said, hey, I want to try out for the swing choir. He says, there are no openings. I said, well, just let me try out. He says, we don't take freshmen anyway. I said, wow. I'm right here. I've got 15 minutes. Just
persistent.
Give me a chance. Right. So he shook his head and he sat down at the piano. He started playing and I started singing. And I became the first freshman to ever be a part of that group. I was a four-year singer there. And it stoked it in me. I love to sing.
So what was the bet that you won from your classmate?
$20.
Oh, there you go.
I got to tell you, we had our holiday party here recently, Thursday night, and Johnny was gracious enough to donate his time and be the live entertainment singing. And he had these speakers set up, one over here behind me and one in the studio behind me. I can't tell you how many times Dorothy and myself walked in the back room and then walked out and thought that the radio was on and that there was somebody, and we turned around the corner and he's singing. We're going, are you kidding me?
Right.
It was great.
I appreciate that.
It blew me away because the only time I had ever seen him sing before was at a pizza joint where you got up and right. And I said, okay, the guy can sing, he's trying to make his mark, and great voice, great presence, really sounded like the radio. I thought, and then they said, we're here at Portnoy Gallery, all donations. And I thought it was an ad on the radio show as we were walking. It was hysterical.
Well, there's no question. You have the voice. You have a distinct sound in your voice.
Well, thank you, as do you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why I have a face for radio, except for this kind of radio. But yeah, I mean, but you have that distinction. When people hear your voice, they probably know it's you. At least that's why. Like, there are certain people you hear their voice, you know,
very, very distinct.
Unless I'm singing, and I
Really?
really pride myself.
You have a British accent because when they sing, they, how's that work?
If I'm doing the Beatles, yes.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I actually pride myself in because I didn't write at the beginning. I was singing everybody else's music, so my goal was to blend in as accurately as I could with everybody else. So I became a voice mimic,
Right.
And I actually started doing that in high school. Before I was singing, I was doing all my teachers, and I would do celebrities and stuff like that I'd see on the radio or TV, and one of my favorite was Casey Kasem.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
go.
now, number 7. Welcome to the countdown. I'm Casey Kasem. But I knew that I'd reached a pinnacle at some point. I think it was 10th or 11th grade. I actually got a hold. I was in my teacher's classroom office, and I called his wife as him and told her I was never coming home again. And she thought it was, yeah.
You know what I got to do? I got to get him down Wednesday night. I'm sure you're familiar with at Tuscany with Kelly Clinton Holmes.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Have you gone down on any Wednesday? Because she
Yep.
brings the new people that are in town up to sing.
Yeah, I've sung with her a couple of times at the Bootlegger Bistro on Monday
Excellent.
nights.
Mhm.
Excellent.
And I never could break in on Wednesday nights. I have a Wednesday show, but when I'd get there, it'd be kind of late to be getting in there. So I would just enjoy everybody
Right,
else. Say hi to Kelly.
right.
She's very gracious
She's the best.
to people like me who don't have a foothold yet. So I for all the artists, we really appreciate people like that. Kenny Davidson.
Kenny's the same way
does-
on Friday
does the
nights.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it's amazing just to have the opportunity to sing in front of other people that do what I do
Mhm.
with no name recognition whatsoever. Kenny, I think he had heard me at his gig, Don't Tell Mama,
Don't tell Mama, right?
and he gave me an opportunity to sing at his show, and then we did it a handful of times. And whenever I can, I love going up and singing with him. But my goal is to be singing with my show
Sure.
at some point.
So you've been in Vegas how long now? You're from Minnesota,
Yep.
originally from Canada by way of
International Falls.
right, that place, and now why Vegas? How'd that happen?
I've had an affinity with Vegas my whole life. I mean, seeing Viva Las Vegas as a kid.
Yep.
And every time it was presented in movies or TV or
Mhm.
pictures or commercials, it called to me. And as a music guy in the Midwest, I'd kind of reached, about as high as I could get doing what I did. And I wanted to go from being a certain size fish in a smaller pond to being the tiniest little tadpole in the biggest test market in the world
Okay,
for
you're
entertainment.
you're a tadpole.
Yeah.
That's not where you want to be.
No.
What fish do you want to be? Let's talk about fish.
2020, best new artist. 2021, headliner of the year. That's what
There
I
you
want.
go. Okay,
That's
good.
why I'm here.
Where are you
Good.
performing now?
Almost nowhere.
Okay.
It's basically all a card. I get opportunities. Neil was gracious enough to let me step in and do some
Mhm.
music. And those type of things are really instrumental. Just being gentle, not trying to force yourself upon the
Yep.
community, not having an ego, being humble,
Mm-hmm.
being vigilant, working your rear end off, and doing every opportunity you can, whether it's a paid gig, an unpaid gig. I've had a couple of small residencies, 3 months here at a couple of casinos. Enjoyed it, but the pay was really low, so I'm trying to move on to the next
Yep.
step.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Yep.
my goal is just to be available, humble, work my butt off, outwork all my competition. And you got to be good. So I keep practicing every day.
You
I'm
know, the
singing.
ability, I always say, and Aaron's heard me say this before, ability you're born with. Obviously, you have that ability. You learn a technique. Obviously, you've learned the technique. Now it's repetition. Do it. Do it again. Do it again. Get the name out there. Let people know what you're doing. The one thing here in Vegas, and we've had a lot of entertainers on the show, is that there aren't enough rooms for the amount of entertainers that are here. Now, that doesn't preclude what a lot of the entertainers here do is they get booked on the cruise ships. And that's very good money. They're making very good money. Now, you get yourself out there. I know we go down a lot of times on weekends, Dorothy and myself, to Mandalay Bay and see Serena Henry and Johnny Jones and Matt Murphy and their band, State of Mind. And Matt's very connected to, and I don't know if you know him, but I'll make the introduction for you.
I know of him.
Okay.
I
Well, you should meet him. And he's involved in the cruise ships. So they're always looking for that new person to do 3 or 4, ports, and they pay very well.
I did think about that, and I've investigated some of those. A lot of them are a little bit longer contracts, but to be honest, I need the money. Everybody does,
Sure.
as an entertainer.
Sure.
And I want the opportunities to perform, but frankly, I'd rather stay here every minute of every day and do what I can to be a part of the Las Vegas landscape. I don't need to be an international entertainer. I want to be somebody that when all is said and done, they will know me as a Vegas performer.
Yep.
That's where my heart.
Good for you. Good for you, Aaron. Go.
No, I just want to acknowledge a couple of people in the chat room as I do a reset. First, Sheila Cooper, Tony Filardo, Carla Bryan, Ken Foote, author Meredith Allen Gordon, who, by the way, set us up with Maria Romano a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was the connection.
Hey!
And Meredith is currently at the Vegas Holiday Pet Expo up at the Speedway, and she has us on up there. So thank you, Meredith, for having us on up there. Ken Johnson. Yeah. Hey, listen, we're even good for the pets. You know what I'm saying? The show's going to the dogs. So we're going to go all over the place with that. You're listening to Twin Brothers from Different Mothers, coming to you live from Portnoy Gallery right here in the heart of Las Vegas. Neil Portnoy to my far right, your left on your computer. I'm in the mustardy shirt, as Neil liked to call it. But more importantly, sitting between us is entertainer, vocalist, man of many voices. Mr. Johnny Bird here joins us. I wish I could have been here Thursday night to actually see you. Unfortunately, and I've been here in the past. My wife is recovering from shoulder surgery. And this week was PT and movements and bands, and she's not a happy camper. So,
which makes you not a happy camper.
I go to work just to rest. You know what I'm saying? I go to work to rest. Right. But I would have loved to have seen you in person. But how do you use your many voices? Do you sing in the voice of that person, or how do you use it?
Yeah, that's a good question. People ask me stuff like that, like the Christmas with the Legends. This is the shows that I'm doing now. I do the best recreation that I can of the original artists, and I did we had kind of a big setback when we moved here. I told you about
that. He shared that with me before we went on the air.
So I had to start over. So and when I got music, I started going through every artist. There's 99,000 songs. I just bought everything I could, and I went from A to Z, and I marked down every one of the artists that I do. And we came up to 841 different bands and artists that I do. And to the best of my ability, I try to recreate that artist's song and the style and the voice and the tone and texture and the vibrato. I think that makes a big difference too with singers, the type of vibrato that they bring to a song. So I try my best to honor those type of singers until next year. When my show, we just started rehearsing with a live band until I get to do the show that I moved here for.
Sure.
And that I lost when I couldn't get here on time.
Right. Well, you know what? One moment in time changes everything. Right. You stay the course. You have a plan.
Best thing that could ever happen to me, Neil.
Losing
everything. It really was.
You know what? Sometimes things happen for reasons because it makes you refocus. And you're starting from scratch and nothing. And you know what? You get the satisfaction of, like we talked about, the house finally selling and all that. Right. And now it's like, all right, I got my feet on the ground. Yes. Let's go. I don't want to walk anymore. I want to trot. I want to run, and I want to get there.
And it keeps you hungry. It keeps you humble.
Sure.
To the listeners, we got robbed the night my wife arrived coming across the country. They drove off in my show van, full of everything, attached to our show trailer, full of 3 generations of heirlooms and everything we had. We lost cash. Over $10,000 in cash was in there. My great-grandfather's heirlooms.
You had nothing.
Yeah.
You had nothing. You had a wife here with 3 kids.
On a park bench.
On a park bench, yeah. And
my studio stuff and my office stuff were in there too. So overnight, they got into all of our accounts. We were wiped out of everything. Jeez. We were frozen out of everything else. So we couldn't even get a Happy Meal at that point. So
that's unbelievable.
I had to beg, borrow, and steal this past year, just to get, just to keep the, above board and survive. But I really do think, and it's not it's not hyperbole to say it really was one of the best things that ever could have happened to me, because I'm a storyline type guy. I think it makes the story better when we finally do hit it and succeed.
And if people want to reach out to you, they want to contact you, they want to know more about you, they maybe have an event coming up where they're looking for somebody of your quality that could perform, that could do what you do or turn you in a direction. How do they reach you?
Well, they could go on our website, newvegas.live, NEWVEGAS.live. We are branding, and I'm hoping to copyright and trademark the term New Vegas, because I want to be one of the New Vegas performers. And I want to give a shout out to perhaps who I think is the penultimate New Vegas performer. His name is Frankie Moreno, 3-time headliner of the year.
Yep.
The guy is the hardest working person here in Vegas, I believe. And there's a lot of hardworking people. That's not to denigrate anybody else. This guy right here, he works day and night. And he told me he was in here at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, it was 5:30 in the morning. I was here.
But Frankie penned a post about 2 years ago that really hit me. And it was about just, what Vegas used to be, and in some cases in the last handful of years hasn't been, is what he wanted to bring back. He does live music, of course, with a great band. He does his own music. So people coming into there can't sing along if they're there for the first time, because he does original stuff. But he gets away with it because he's so damn good.
I have yet to see him perform, but everyone who tells me is he's the best.
Well,
he's that good.
And I told him in a parking lot 2 years ago when we finally decided we'd been touring here about every 3 months as a visitor, that I'm coming here and I'm coming to take his crown as the king of Vegas, the current king. And I can't repeat exactly the word he used, but the essence was he was very happy to have somebody coming in and taking the next step and being a part of that New Vegas movement.
Did you ever think of partnering with him? I mean, as far as performing, opening, that type thing? I'm sure that crossed the table.
Oh, it will crosses my mind. And to be gentle about it, I don't think, Frankie, if you're listening or watching, I know he doesn't really need somebody like me. And that's what I was talking about before too, about being gentle about this stuff. You can't really come in expecting anybody to do anything sight unseen for you. You got to do it, and you got to earn it. If he ever asked me to be up on stage and sing with him, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would.
So let's put that out there. You want to go on stage with Frankie and sing?
And you know who else I want to be on stage with? And one of my goals, I have this as I got 2 goals for 2020 and beyond. Number 1, I want my own room and I want my own show coming up in the next year. Live band, 90-minute show, ticketed event. And I also want the 4th bracelet.
Oh, you really do. With
yes.
Sinatra, with Wayne, with Vinny from the Bronx Wanderers. You want to have the 4th one.
I want the 4th bracelet.
Who's going to present it to you?
I have an idea.
Well, go ahead. Throw it out there.
He's the guy that was on stage for the 1,000th show about a month ago. He was the guy that was on stage last night. It was Vinny.
Yeah, Vinny. He's just, what a great show. We went, Johnny was at the show last night for the Bronx Wanderers. And Dina Martin, Dean's daughter, was also there and did a duet with Vinny on stage. For those who have not seen the Bronx Wanderers,
you got
to go. And they did the Beatles thing, but they what was the song that they?
I mean, the Sgt. Pepper.
They did Sgt. Pepper instead of We Are Sgt. Peppers. They did We Are Wanderers Family Band.
Yeah, right on.
It was great. It really
right on.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to mention something in the chat room real quickly. I think we've reached a whole nother level in terms of international viewership. Right now in the chat room, we currently have somebody from Pakistan who just chimed in, just complimenting us on how good the show is.
Hey, Pakistan.
So
excellent.
If you get to Vegas, come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he just said to me, he says, when I come out there, he wants to come on the show with us. What he does is he manufactures replica professional wrestling belts and stuff. So he's one of those manufacturers of the replicas.
I thought they were made in China.
No.
Pakistan.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is that close to China? I don't know. Justin Chuck, thank you for thank you for watching as always. Cassie Acosta, Christina Torricello is out there, Bill Knott. So thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. And as always, please reshare. And of course, you can catch us on GoLive.Vegas, either right on the website or download the mobile app, Go Live Vegas. Those 3 words, just look them up. Download it to your Android or iPhone. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. You know, we're getting close to that time. We're getting close.
Prior to getting to that time, I do want to mention that. Listen, we've been doing this for over a year now. We promote the local talent, the local businesses. For those businesses that are out there that are looking for a low-cost way to get their message out, we have sponsorship rates available, very, very inexpensive, to be part of the podcast Twin Brothers from Different Mothers. So you can reach out to Aaron at
Twin Brothers Different Mothers at gmail.com. Just go into our Facebook page, click the blue button that says send message, and you'll be able to shoot your message, and I'll be happy to get back to you within 24 hours. I just got two piece of information from Diane Fiorentino. Number one, you know sign language.
Well,
she says you know sign language, so
if you go slow enough,
okay,
I can usually figure stuff out. But it's been about 15 years since I was able to use it.
Well, Diane is one of the premier people in the country. I don't know if you knew that, because her and Sal have a deaf child, so she got very involved when Sal Jr. And they to this date hate the fact that they named him Sal Jr. because when he's on Facebook and they're not, the kid's getting all the parents, type stuff, right? And that could get tricky in a lot of ways. But she's one of the premier signers in the country.
Really?
She speaks about it, and if she can get that foot healed, maybe she can sign with her feet, because right now she was dancing last night. And she's got
sign with your feet.
I don't know, but she'll figure it out. She's Diane. She could do anything.
Well, maybe she can refresh everything. I love learning to sign.
You'd love to talk to her about it then.
I got to say, one of the most unique shows that I ever had a chance to do was in a deaf dance club.
Really?
Yeah.
Deaf dance club.
Deaf dance club.
Was somebody signing as you were performing?
No. What they did they had the bass bins, and it was mostly bass bins. They felt
the vibrations and movement.
Turned one down to the floor, and they turned one coming out, so they could feel the beat and the music. And there were some of the folks there that had maybe slight hearing or mostly hearing loss, and there were a lot of completely zero. They couldn't hear anything.
Right.
My wife says I have that,
but it was so
selective hearing.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
My grandfather called it selective deafness.
I like that.
But it was a thrill.
Somebody that was here at our 1 year anniversary that came along, I guess, with Diane, Denise Bazzoli Grippentag.
Oh, yeah, sure.
She's in Germany right now, and she's listening to us.
Excellent. Hi,
we
Denise.
are fully international right now.
Hug to Germany.
Hug to, well, I don't know if I, anyway.
Wait a minute. Watch this. Watch this. Ready? Guten Morgen.
What did you just wish them? Have a good mocha? What?
Good morning.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, guten Morgen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for
That's
it.
all I know.
Okay, if you say so. Anyway, hi there. We're back to you. Okay, so here's a point of the show. We like to have a little fun. We call getting to know you. Not that we haven't gotten to know you, but we've gotten to know you pretty much from your musical and who you are as an entertainer. But now we like to delve into the personal side of who you are.
Oh, all right.
This is rapid fire question. No thought. First thing that comes to mind for you is the answer I want to hear, with one caveat. You must answer every question in a different voice that you do. I want my audience to hear you in those voices. I don't care which one you pull. I don't care.
We've never done that before.
I know.
Really putting him on the spot.
He's a professional. He can handle this.
All right, go ahead.
Consider it being called up to the stage without being noticed.
Let me put an asterisk on this.
Okay.
And another shout out
Please.
to my buddy Don Tersini. He is the voice chameleon. Chicagoland is his kind of home base, but he lives in Indiana, just below Chicago. He's the guy that does all the celebrity voices. In fact, I think he has a corporate gig in Indiana or in Indianapolis somewhere around this weekend. He is one of the best vocal impersonators around. I do it more as a singer than
Gotcha.
So I may be a little bit
That's
hampered.
okay. That's why. Just do your best. If you want to skip one and not do one that way, totally fine. Maria Romano's now watching. Thank you, Maria. Okay, here you go. Ready? First one. I mean, based on the question, you might be able to fall into one. So, favorite all-time actor?
Well, boy, one of my favorite actors is Denzel Washington, but I don't do a great Denzel, but I do like watching Morgan Freeman. Now, you were talking about Morgan Freeman last night.
I like that. That's right. Yeah, if you can't do the voice of who your answer is, just pull one out of your hat. That's right. Favorite actress of all time?
Oh, favorite actress.
You're thinking. First response.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, Thank you, Mr.
Never
President.
heard that one before.
No,
That's
we have
good.
not.
I'm kind of an old school guy.
That's okay.
It's all right.
And, Humphrey Bogart too. I love Humphrey.
You don't get two choices.
Well, it's okay. He's got multiple personalities.
Yeah.
I'll let them all answer. I don't care.
Bipolar in many ways.
That's
yeah.
right. Favorite all-time movie that when it's on, you drop everything, you get your popcorn.
You can stop right there.
Go.
It's Casablanca.
So how would Humphrey say that?
For all the gin joints and all the
That was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
Favorite music genre?
Sinatra and the 50s and everything from that, the 50s rock,
The Rat Pack stuff. Okay, got to hear the voice. Favorite all-time song?
that I sing or that I like to hear.
Whatever, either way you want to answer. I'll give you an answer both. Which one you like to sing, and when you're in your car, you hear the song come on, you don't care what anybody looks, what you look like when you're singing to it.
Commodores, Easy.
Oh, I love Easy.
Go ahead.
Oh, I know it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow.
I love the guitar in there.
Yeah.
I love that.
It doesn't-
Lionel Richie.
It doesn't sound like do like you just.
Well, no, it doesn't.
You've used that sound before for like
I
something
use it
else.
for horns.
It's the essence
Yeah.
of them.
It's the essence. I
Okay,
I love the Commodores. Easy is a great song. That is one of those songs when it comes on my car. I don't care what I look like inside the car singing. That's a great choice.
Do you sing along with those songs, or are you
in my
quiet
car and
listen-
in my shower? I do.
But I mean, when you hear it on the radio,
Absolutely.
you sing along.
Absolutely. Michael McDonald's another one with the Doobie Brothers, Old Black Water. There's just certain songs when you hear them, I don't know how you can't not get into singing them, no matter what. Absolutely.
And Michael McDonald is one of those guys that Danny Gans he captured the essence. You never can understand.
Right.
He's one of those mumblers.
Yeah. All right. Next question for you, sir. All right. Do it any way you want to. What's your favorite all-time curse word? FCC does not regulate us, so you're good to go.
Yeah, actually, I can say this. Bastard. I say it in my head all the time. Bastard. And
Okay. All right.
The other ones, like I don't say it out loud.
Right.
I say them in my head. In fact, there's sometimes when I'm like either really happy or really upset, and I'm in the car by myself, I will sing an entire song as I'm listening to it. Every word is the F word.
In tune, of course.
Oh yeah, and I'll just say it to myself. I don't even know why I do it.
You know what? Because it just happens. You've got that talent and the creative mind to it. It's just going to happen no matter what. Can't fight it off. If money were no object, what would be your all-time favorite vehicle that you would love to see parked in your driveway someday?
I had it briefly and then burned up before I even got to drive it. I got so many stories. That was an 87 Jag XJS.
Okay. So
12-cylinder engine.
12-cylinder.
I bought it at a car dealership in Florida. I had it shipped home, but by the time it went from Florida to Minnesota, it was stripped of the electronics.
I had an 89 XK coupe.
I love those Jag. There's a new Jag out there. I don't even know what it is. It's a 2-door, but it's just one of those.
Somebody asked me, how many miles do you think that'll go? And my mechanic looked at me and said, "Depends on how much money you want to keep putting in this thing."
So I sent it about 5 different shops. I didn't want to send it to the Jag shop because it was so expensive. Finally got to this place and it burned down.
The shop did.
The shop burned down.
Oh
the whole
my
shop.
gosh.
And they didn't have insurance, so I lost it.
Oh man.
I never got to drive it once.
Jeez. Best vacation ever taken?
Here, Las Vegas.
All right.
With my wife on our we got married on November 11th, Veterans Day, 2011. The next day, our
11.
Yeah.
Our families were still in town from different parts of the state of Minnesota. And I fooled my wife, Anna, and we all went out for dinner. I sat there for lunch and I set it up with all the families. So my mom and dad were there. Her mom and dad and her sisters were there. And she wanted to go to IKEA, which was by the Mall of America.
Okay.
She'd never been to IKEA. So I said, we're going to go to IKEA right after that. And she was a little disappointed. Her money was tight. So I said, we can't really do anything for our honeymoon. But she fell asleep in the car from the Olive Garden to what she thought was IKEA. She woke up about 8 minutes later.
Where were you?
We're at the airport.
Where were you going?
Las Vegas.
Love it.
I had everything packed, and And she woke up and she looked up and she's, this is IKEA? Because
new store that opened at the airport.
Yeah, right.
IKEA and the airport were only a couple miles away from each other,
right.
By the Mall of America. And I said, no, we're going to Las Vegas. And she started crying, and it was
nice.
Good.
And we had the most fun. And we went every year in November since then. And I started thinking, why am I paying all this damn money?
You just live here.
So I said, gently, well, we're going again this November. Is it okay if I book a tour instead? So I did 41 shows from Minnesota all the way to Vegas and then all the way back. And
but your wife does all the booking for you, correct?
At the time, I was still doing it.
But right now, she's doing it all.
She does most of that stuff. Yeah, I do most of the tour stuff. She does all the rest, and she's actually the engineer of our bigger shows.
Okay,
the Fabulous Vegas Guys, and when I did a dueling piano show, she engineered the sound lights for those.
Right on. That's what my daughter does. She's a sound engineer. She's on Frozen now, the Disney show that is opening up. So, yeah, she's excited. Okay, bucket list vacation, place you want to go that you haven't gone to yet.
Spain, love to. I've never been on a cruise. I know Anna wants to do that. The old world. Everything about me is old world. So Spain, Italy, places like that.
History.
Yeah. I'd love to just immerse myself. I'd love to go to Jerusalem. And just sit and absorb the history that's happened.
Years and years and years of history.
I'll wait till they stop bombing. Anyway, describe for us your favorite meal from top to bottom.
Right on top, a nice smoked brisket.
Ooh.
Nice, a nice bark on it.
Won't make you Jewish yet. Keep going.
Right below that, some more smoked brisket. And on the bottom, like a big old
smoked brisket.
Sirloin steak, medium rare.
Meat and potatoes. What about the
sides? No, there's no sides. Just meat. I just want a big pile of meat.
You're a carnivore to the heart.
I love meat.
There you go. All right.
And I love to cook it. I love to eat it.
Excellent.
Favorite typical Las Vegas thing that you like to do to relax?
I haven't gotten there yet, to be honest.
Okay.
And it's not a cop-out answer. Anna and I like to go to a movie, or we just sit in Netflix, because I'm always out running and hustling. She is too. She works her butt off making.
What does
calls.
she do? What is she, just basically the promoter and stuff for you guys, or?
She started working with our company probably 8 years ago, right around the time we got married. And instead of being on the sidelines, she said, well, I want to be a part of this. And I figured, instead of paying somebody else, I'll train her.
Right.
And she does a great job of engineering. And I have a lot of friends that are entertainer friends that have spouses that don't get it. I'm one of the guys who has a spouse.
Well, let me ask you a question to piggyback on that, because I know myself. My wife runs this gallery. It's not the easiest thing in the world when you're spending 24 hours living and working with somebody you're that close to. How do you handle that?
This is really rare. We spent times where we're 9 months. Every day we were together. I've never gotten sick of being around her a second since the day we met.
Love it.
I don't know if she's being honest. She says the same thing about me. We don't argue. We don't fight. We get along.
Teach me.
I fired my wife from a summer job when I worked for a major payroll company. When she was out for school and I needed help in the office, she was looking for something to do. After 3 days, she just couldn't handle the quiet of an office, being in a classroom.
Yep.
I fired her. I took her out for lunch. Then I sent her home. So
that Arby's I worked at, I met my first wife there.
Okay.
And I became the manager there, and she almost got fired there.
Oh, gotcha.
Different dynamics.
Not a pretty thing.
But with this with Anna, it's easy. There's no effort.
It's worked.
Yeah.
All right. 2 more questions. When somebody from Minnesota or somebody reaches out to you who's coming to Vegas and they say, Johnny, what should we do when we come to Vegas? What do you tell them?
3 things. 3 things. I want them to come to see me see my show, because they can see something a little different than they've seen back in the Midwest. I want them to see Frankie Moreno, and I want them to see the Bronx Wanderers.
Right on.
We're bringing, I think, 13 people out a week from Sunday that have never seen, and most of those are here locals. But to be honest, I haven't had a whole lot of people from Minnesota reach out and say, what to do.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. Exactly.
They're coming,
especially when you get that big residency that you're going to get.
There's one more though, and now that I've seen it, I will definitely send everybody here to the Portnoy.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We kind of throw that in every time when people get two things. We always say, well, other than coming to Portnoy Gallery. Right?
No, it really, this is so fascinating. And Neil is gracious enough to let people kind of walk through the process. He'll bring them back into the studio. I mean, he just showed me.
Yeah, you get to watch a little bit.
Yeah, he showed me some of his blending. And I think that's fascinating. And I think it's rare for artists like you to bring somebody into the inner sanctum of how they do their magic.
You'll hear me say all the time, I don't, I call myself an artist, but I don't call myself an artist. Singers, I don't call them singers. Musicians, I don't call them musicians. I call us creatives. We think differently, we see differently, we hear differently, we speak differently. And I've always said to people, if you had my eyes for 10 minutes, you wouldn't believe what I see. If I had your ears for 10 minutes and your voice, I wouldn't believe the fact that I was able to do that because I can't sing.
Oh, you're very gracious.
I can't sing.
Last question, then you're off the hot seat. If you were not doing the career that you're doing now, what other career would you have liked to have tried or gotten into?
I would have been an attorney.
That's how you said you went to school,
yeah,
right?
The first paper I ever wrote, and that got lost in the robbery. And I'm mad about it. It said, the title was, I want to be a lawyer. And I misspelled the word lawyer.
That's funny.
Lawer.
That's funny.
And I was in a little town in International Falls, Minnesota, at population 5,000.
Is that close to the Canadian border?
It is the Canadian border.
Oh, it is the Canadian border.
It's the northernmost city in America.
Oh.
And I was saying I want to go to Yale or Harvard. Those were the two that I picked. And I was researching all this stuff. There was no internet, so I had to do it on our Funk and Wagnall's encyclopedia.
Right, Britannica.
And I dreamed of being an attorney my entire life. I wanted to be president, but I couldn't because I was born in Canada.
That's correct.
So my second choice was I wanted to be an attorney. And I think about it from time to time if I'm on stage and there's nobody out there or nobody's paying attention.
Do you know Ted Cruz? He was born, wasn't he?
Florida, wasn't he? Ted Cruz?
Didn't Trump bring up? I know we don't talk politics, but I thought he brought up in the 2000.
It came up.
Yeah, he was born in Canada.
I don't know the dynamics of that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be the president. Since I couldn't do that, I was going to be an attorney.
Were you going to specialize in a particular law field?
Yeah, I wanted to be a trial attorney.
Gotcha.
I did study business, so I could have done business stuff, but
business law.
Yeah, but when I'm on stage and there's nobody like paying attention, I think to myself, yeah, I'm at an age right now that I'd be retired and rich.
Well, here's the thing: even if you spelled it wrong without the Y, there are some parts of this country that would probably call it a lawyer. Yeah. So you may not have been far off for a liar.
I use a little bit of legal background when I'm doing the caricatures. I always give people my disclaimer,
right,
which is management not responsible for the way you already look.
I know what you're talking about too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, we're just about wrapped up. Thank you for your time coming in. I want to quickly run through these before we officially say goodbye. Just a couple of things, activities going on around town tonight. Kringle versus Krampus, Atomic Roller Girls presents their event tonight. Doors open at 5:30. Bout starts at 6 p.m. It's the Fallout Shelter down on the Kendo off of Valley View. All proceeds will benefit the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. So if you can come down and participate, I will be down there on the microphone having fun with the crowd and doing some silly, goofy stuff.
That's at the Fall Down Shelter?
Which you and I found out very well last year.
Yeah, we went. It's a pretty impressive facility. And let me tell you something. I'm one from the school of saying, that's not real. It's real. They throw the people around in chairs and against ropes. And
last bout we were at a couple of months ago, there were two members of the other team.
Yeah,
they literally had to get carted off because they tore their knee and an ankle.
It's real.
You're on those skates, and this is the ladies. Flat track.
I've done shows like
Shreddy Balls. Shreddy. No, there's a woman. Her name is Shreddy Balls.
Well, during this show, she does. Yes, that's her name.
That's
for
her name.
Show. Okay, next week, if you're a wrestling fan, Live Pro Wrestling, Big Valley Pro Wrestling presents a Kraken Christmas special.
Go to it.
Down at the Sahara Event Center.
Get to the point.
There you go. $12 general admission, $25 front row VIP, $20 second row VIP. Doors open at 2 o'clock. Kids 12 and under get in free with a paying adult. See the new heavyweight champion, Big Dirty, and the new tag team champion, Sky High, Mondo Rocks, and Robbie Litt. They put their titles on the line, and many, many other performers. That is Sunday, December 15th. This will be the last show of the year. Doors open at 1:30.
How do they get their names? They make those up, or are they really their names?
No, they're not really their names.
Oh, Sveti Balls that's her name. I got a card from her in the mail.
Yeah, did you really?
Yeah,
Sveti and you
Balls.
got a bag of balls.
And I got a
that
bag
I
of
had
balls.
to hand deliver to you.
Well, yeah, but I washed my hands
That's
before
good. So did I.
received it.
So did I. I came in wearing a white glove with them. Now, for those of you, there's a good friend of mine that I met years ago. His name is Brian Hoffman, and he does a killer Red Skelton show. Talk about old time, and you talk about the 50s, Clem Clediddle Hopper and all that. This guy put on a great show. That Pigeon Forge, the Red Skelton Theater Company where he is from down in the Tennessee area, where they brought him down there to do his show. He is the Grand Marshal.
Does he look like him at all, or?
You tell me.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Okay. He also does Al Lewis, Grandpa from the Munsters. He's done that, but this is his bread and butter. He is coming in Saturday, January 4th, 7 p.m. He's going to be appearing at, where is it? It is at the Summerlin Theater. That's why am I'm blanking on the name. Crap. Starbright Theater. Thank you very much. Tickets are $20. If you did not see him when he's here in town, catch this show. It will take you back to Smuggler's Gin.
Who's promoting the show? Is it Mystique or
he is? It's through the Starbright website and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, so it is a great show. I will be there. My wife and I are going to go so I can say hello to Brian. Great guy, and if you can check him out and do so. Now, lastly, January 18th and 19th, The Legend of Christy Love in the Soul of Rock and Roll, a musical comedy with the history of rock and roll origins. That's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. That is down at the Las Vegas Library on East Flamingo. It is free to the public. It is a great show. I have this lady's resume. It speaks like, I don't know how many things but she's got doctorate. She's got everything. She's got this and that.
Christy Love?
Christy Love with a K. Also recommended by Tema Hammond. She's from Golden Network TV. Sure. She's the one that recommended this. We're going to head down there on the 18th, probably at 7 is the 18th. Sunday, the 19th is at 2 p.m. I will be hosting a bar mitzvah that day, so I can't go on Sunday. I'll be there Saturday night.
Is that Mark's?
No, Mark's family is next Saturday. I'm just there as a participant.
How do you get to all these bar mitzvahs? Because I'm Jewish too. I'd like to go to a few.
So come with me. This one on the 19th is for? It's a young boy by the name of Elad Meir. There is Israeli descent.
Israeli, okay.
It's going to be an interesting one because there's going to be a mechitza and
is that a pizza?
No. That's a margarita pizza. Oh. It's the center divider when you have to separate.
Oh yeah, the men and the women. Yeah.
Think Fiddler on the Roof.
Can I tell you a funny story though? Real quickly. I worked an event, a bar mitzvah in Connecticut, and it was the oldest temple, Hasidic temple in all of New Haven. And I took Dorothy with me, and I didn't tell her, because I'm focused on working the gig.
Right.
She came in a sleeveless dress. Right. And then we go in.
The building started shaking.
Right.
Didn't it?
You can't do that at a Hasidic temple. So then we get in there, and I'm doing my caricature show, and they put the divider up, because the women are on one side, the guys are, and she needed a chair. She started to walk across the dance floor to the. And they pulled. No, you can't.
I'm surprised the ground didn't swallow her up at that point.
So it was a totally new experience for her.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be an interesting bar mitzvah because we have to deal with those concerns with dancing.
Yep.
I don't want to make an issue of this, but it shouldn't be an issue. But the young boy is on the spectrum, if you know what I mean by that.
Nope.
He's on the autistic spectrum.
Okay.
I've met the young man. He is a wonderful young man, and to see him achieve this,
that's great.
I'm excited. That's why I'm honored to be doing this, and it's going to be a great event.
You emceeing the whole thing? You're doing
yes, I'm doing the party. The services are Saturday morning, but I will be there hosting the party. It's at the Desert Shores Club, right in our backyard.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
That'll be the 19th of January. So that's a plug for the bar mitzvah. Hey, they need an entertainer. You free?
I'm free.
You ever do a bar mitzvah?
One of the first shows I ever did
was it really?
Mitzvah, and I didn't grow up. I had no Jewish friends that I was even aware of.
Repeat after me, Baruch.
Baruch. Just eat right to left.
I got to tell you a funny story. My wife is Italian Catholic, right? So we had the Christmas tree up, and we had the menorah. So the first year that we were married, I'm trying to teach her the bracha, the blessing, and I said, just repeat after me, honey. And I go Baruch. She goes Baruch. I said, all right, she goes, Ata. She goes, Ata. I go, I don't know. She goes, I don't know. I said, no, no.
All right. you can catch, if you need to reach out to Johnny, which I encourage you to do, please do so. He's got an email or website, www.newvegas.live. Email is birdlandmusic@hotmail.com.
Yep, and we do have a Wednesday night show in Henderson every Wednesday, 6 to 9. It's outdoors, got heaters. It's an outdoor stage. It's karaoke, open mic.
Right on.
So you can come down
Where's
to the
that?
Water Street Pizzeria.
Oh, right on.
Right downtown Henderson, right across from El Dorado Casino. And 6 to 9, it's family friendly. So you can bring out the kids. The food is amazing. Get a meatball. That's my favorite.
There you go.
There.
You can find Johnny on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. Just search him out there. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great.
Let me make
Please.
one final plug.
Absolutely.
And I mentioned this at the St. Jude's benefit that you did. By the way, that's just an amazing thing that you do. It's the third year that you've done it and raising money for such a good cause, St. Jude's and the kids.
Thanks. Yeah, the kids. It's all about the kids.
Yeah, it is. So what I'm doing for the rest of this holiday season, if anybody mentions Portnoy or Portnoy Studios, and if you want to buy my holiday CD, there's 14 songs on it. It's $10. I will donate 100% of the proceeds this entire season. All you have to do is say you saw it here, or you saw it here at the show.
At Twin Brothers, Different Mothers. Yep.
Or mention Portnoy in any way. I'll get you the CD.
No, not in any way, in a good way. Not in any way, in a good way.
Well, in a good way.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll give you.
That's very gracious of you. Yep.
They make great stocking stuffers. It's $10, and it all goes for a great cause.
Right on.
So I will do it through you for the St. Jude's kids.
Excellent.
And just, what an amazing guy for doing what you do. And
well, thank you.
For you too. Thank
Yes, sir.
you so much.
My absolute pleasure. It's been a blast.
It's been an honor to be.
Thank you.
Be here.
Well, I said to Aaron, because it was last minute that we got you to do this, and thank you for that. I said, "You ever hear Johnny Bird?" No. I said, "You need to." I said, "Right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
I said, "You need to." He's a very unique guy, great voice, great talent, and a real person.
And I think you and I should maybe have a little conversation, have a lunch or something, and just kind of shoot some ideas and work together. And who knows?
And please, you got to do it, because he's on my case. And what are we getting from these entertainers?
By the way,
can you dust the truck tires off my back, please, from the bus?
The second time I saw him, I said one of my goals before I die. It's a bucket list item.
Right.
I want to be Portnoy.
That's right. He did say that.
Portnoy.
I want to be Portnoy. And he looked at me. That's okay.
Give it time.
I didn't say keep moving. I said in due time.
What's your birthday?
My birthday.
When's your month?
May 1st.
Okay.
There you go. By May 1st, you'll be Portnoy.
That's what he usually targets most of the time.
Just didn't say what year.
No, he doesn't need year.
I haven't heard it yet.
You know what? People have weekends. As people who work for ourselves, we don't have weekends. We have another day.
That's right.
It's what day is it? It's Friday already. Again, where the hell the rest of the week go?
Right.
We say that all the time. But personally, I want to thank you for being who you are.
And
I mean, a true gentleman.
You know what? First time I've met you, you are a genuine individual.
Right.
And that's my first. You are so down to earth. You are genuine. You mean it. Nothing phony from what I can sense.
Well,
you're just a good guy.
That's why the two of you need to get
absolutely.
together, because
I have
there's something there.
I have goosebumps.
Goosies.
Coming up my back. Say it.
Jennifer Lopez, Goosies.
Goosies.
Well, go have a beer.
Let's do so.
Yeah.
Although I can't drink it, but we can hold it. I can hold the beer. Because you heard my weight loss story. So I don't drink any of that stuff anymore.
I didn't tell you. I can. I'm trying to lose a little weight right now, but 11 years ago, I lost 157
God
pounds.
bless you. Right on.
You got a lot to talk about, the two of you.
I divorced her.
Oh, shit. Boy, we fell into that one, didn't we?
That one coming at all.
Holy cow. I almost feel like I should have that cone in my head like a dunce cap after falling for that thing.
I can go get that one, by the way.
One final question for you. How come you're not on him about the color of his shirt, which is very close to mine? How come you're not picking his out?
Because he covered his up.
Oh, jeez. On that note, there's no Twin Brothers next Saturday, as I will be out of town and unavailable, and Neil can't connect all of this stuff on his own. We'll be back on the 21st.
When he's gone, I know all about this stuff.
There you go.
We'll do a little pirated radio
show. That's fine.
Fitting in for Aaron Phillips.
Hey, listen, God bless you. The 21st of December, we'll be back with the folks behind a brand new nonprofit supporting the foster children, the foster care system here in Las Vegas, Kids Uplifting Kids, which was the match we made with David Tatlock from Soul Juice Band and Noel Casimiro. All of that's coming together with the Music Fest on April of 2020. So Kids Uplifting Kids, the 4 young gals who brainstormed this idea will be with us on the 21st.
Speaking of that, speaking about what we've talked about
we'll never
today,
sign off this show, by the way.
Maybe we should get Johnny involved with David and have him perform
That's a conversation. David is handling all the entertainment. So
you know David Tadlock, if you don't know,
I know of.
Okay, we'll make the introduction for
yeah,
him.
absolutely. All right.
Aren't
Final
these guys great?
We just keep going. We make connections. Final thoughts as we sign off.
Great show. Appreciate it. All that you do. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
Because the one thing that I love about Las Vegas, and I've only been here 3.5 years, is the entertainers here support the entertainers here.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't find that in any other city like it is here in Las Vegas. Part of our mission here at Twin Brothers from Different Mothers is to connect people and make and put a smile on somebody's face every day.
Right on. I want to thank our audience over at GoLive.Vegas. We thank you for tuning in. Please make sure Wednesday, 6 p.m., there'll be a replay of Twin Brothers from Different Mothers on GoLive.Vegas. 2 weeks. We'll see you here in 2 weeks. I am Aaron Phillips. For our guest, Johnny Bird. For Neil Portnoy, have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time on Twin Brothers from Different Mothers. Take care.